Hello, welcome to Lessons Learnt. I'm Sherry, and this is Finish It Friday. Welcome in. We're going to have a little quilt show here after a while. But first, we're going to talk about what I finished this week, and later on what you finished. It's kind of a repeat of last week. It really is. It's kind of the same things that I did last week, just more of the same. But I'll show you what that more of the same is. There's a little bit of difference. I did the Riley Blake challenge block, which is different every week, right? We are on block 9, and this is called Halo Star, and it is by Jill Finley. And so I just continued on with using the Porch Swing line of fabric that I've been using for this project. We now have 9 blocks. So getting closer and closer to completing this quilt up. And then also I got my 2 Pieceful baskets done, which I told you about on Monday, but did not show you, so I will show you those. This one is number 11, so this is the last block we got in the most recent Sew Sampler box. The Sew Sampler box number 12 is on its way, so ta-da, we're going to be finishing this up. So this is a yellow basket with some dark purple and some oranges and some plaids. And then block number 10 was kind of a patchworky, kind of like a little 16 patch block sticking out of there with some corally pink colored basket with yellow sticking out. And I did something a little bit different with this one because I cut these pieces out, not realizing I didn't have enough for these. So I just picked another color, another print, the same color range. I think it looks fine. So it's kind of a two-tone basket. I'm getting down to where I don't have a lot to choose from. I have some big pieces of fabric, but you know, you don't want all your baskets to be the same. So I'm trying to make every single one of them unique. And the only other thing I had was in this line was a layer cake. So if I had 2 of the same print in that layer cake, I can make an entire basket. If I just have one of those prints, I can't make an entire basket. I have to mix something else in. But so far, that's the only one I've had to do that with. And then I have a set of 2 10-inch squares for the last one. I think it's an orange shade or something that I had left. So I'll be using that for my number 12 block. And then we'll get on to the finishing. So I'm going to set these over here to the side. Also, I've been working on Twizzler blocks. I have 2 blocks of number 3 done. And I think this goes in the centermost. I could be wrong about that, but I think this block number 3 goes in the center, just the way that I know there's a dark thing in the center. So, got 2 of those, got to make 2 more. I'm going to continue on with this today and through the weekend and try to get a little bit farther on that project because I'm already itching to do another new big project. So it'll probably be this Cheddar at Twilight. I'll probably be doing that soon. And so if you want to follow along with my progress on that, that will be my next project. So spoiler alert, those things I don't like, right? But you got one today. But I think I've talked about that before. Also, I have some batiks blocks, blues batiks to talk about. I got a few in this week. And you guys are coming through on the states that I need. And so I'm just going to go through these really quickly. This one is from Nettie of Iowa. And I did not have Iowa. So she sent 2 of these beautiful blocks. And then I had, this one is from Delaware. And this is Clara. And here are her 2 blocks. They look like this. Very natural looking. This one is also from Iowa. This is, let me see, Her name is Laura. And we have some blocks from Laura that look like this. Nice. And then we have some from North Dakota. This is from Shelly from North Dakota. And she has several here. No, this is two. Two of these. Thank you, Shelly, for coming through for North Dakota. That's great. And then the last ones I have here are from Patricia. I think she goes by Pat. And she was very generous. She and her granddaughter were sewing together. And they just got all enthusiastic about making these blocks. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And I have 4 of these. Nice additions to our mini colored boutique quilt that's going to happen. She also sent this beautiful card as a photo. That flower right there is called a columbine. Thank you for that. So let's take a look at our map again. I have colored in Colorado and Iowa. Is that the only ones I colored in today? North Dakota. So I colored those two in. We have New Mexico and Montana and Vermont left. I think maybe I've heard from some of you that are sending blocks. Maybe you've already sent them. I checked the mailbox yesterday, so they could have come today or maybe this weekend. I'll get them and I'll have them for next week. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm just thrilled with this. I feel kind of certain that we're going to get every state now. It's just so thrilling, and I love all of your notes and your cards that you send, and I'm going to go through them again and get all those out and put them on my card wall over there and display those so that I can have another little peek at them from time to time. So thank you all of you for your participation in this project. Very soon I'll be putting that together. So let's go on into your finishes for this week. Have a few to share. The first one is from Deb, and she sent this late last Thursday, and I didn't get to show it, but I was just dying to show this because this is so beautiful. This is from the recent Scrapbuster that I had. I think it was Scrapbuster number 3 or 4. And it was with the long strips that I joined together and then put the big wide borders across the centers, or strips across the centers. And what I love about Deb's quilt here is that it is so colorful, so beautiful, and she has used, I believe it's a navy as her big strips going across, and it just really set off all her beautiful oranges and yellows and teals and purples in the strips. And look at the backing. Isn't that just glorious? I love it, love it, love it. And I love all of your wonderful quilting that you did on that as well. Looks very nice. Lots of swirls. Turned out great. I'm just really thrilled. All of you who have participated in these scrap stash projects for this year, you seem to really like them, and that's really thrilling for me that you're getting rid of some of your scraps and stash as well with these projects. This one is from Pat. She said she loved my sparrow quilt, and so she bought the pattern at QuiltCom in Phoenix, and she made 4 placemats out of it. And she says she made these for the fabric patch to donate to our local nursing home. And the backs are bird and kitty fabrics. This is Pat from Washington State. Your birds turned out great, and great idea taking that pattern and using them on a smaller project as this placemat set that you've done here. It's great, and they will be very much appreciated at the nursing home. They will love that. Okay, this one is from Donna. She said she wanted to send me this picture because it has hints of Tim Holtz throughout. It's called 49er. It was designed by Lori Simpson, and she found it in a book called Sisterhood of the Scraps by Lisa Alexander. It measures 80 by 80, and it could be made in any colorway. She's thinking of doing another one in deep purples and greens. And she says you can arrange the combinations of 4 patches and 9 patches any way you like. But she tried to follow the book pattern, took a wrong turn at the end, but nobody knows. I'm not going to look for it. This is beautiful. I love the tans and blues together. That's always a great combination. And there's that border, that's the brick type of border that you put on the edges there. Looks great. And then Susan sent me another bag finish while we were chatting about something here on the email. And she said, this bag is for a local quilt guild my friend belongs to. They will sell it in their boutique. I used some Lorelei kitty fabric for the outside pocket. Looks great. I love it. Love all of your totes that you make. And those Lorelei cats are adorable. This is from Nellie. She said, this quilt is made for a senior in foster care graduation gift. Senior in foster care graduation gift. When I think of my parents and all the love and guidance they gave me, I realize that I was so lucky to grow up with my parents. For this reason, my heart goes out to those children in foster care. This is just a small way that I can help one child. I also made a lot of bags because children moving from foster home to foster home don't have anything to carry their belongings in. Another thing I make is fleece beds for the Humane Society in my city. Great, Nellie. I'm glad you're able to do all of this charity work, especially for the Humane Society, but this one for the foster care is just beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. You've got a real knack for putting color together and design. Very talented. Love it. This one's from Annie, and she says this is her first big long arm project that she did on her Moxie. She says, I know it has flaws and improvements to be had, but it's always fun when you share it with someone like my brother who doesn't even look for them. So she said her brother helped her remodel her she shed, and she set up her long arm, and he saw this and liked it so much that she was delighted that he would take it for a fundraiser that he has going on. So this is pretty blues, lots of denim-y shades of blue with the yellows and the cheddar orange there. Very, very pretty, very pretty. And I'm glad you're getting some confidence on your long arm. I'm familiar with that quilt pattern that you used on there, and it looks great to me, and I'm not going to look for any imperfections because from here it looks great. Now here's an interesting one. This is from Weaver, and she says she enjoys the channel very much and all of the projects that people send in, and this is her first time submitting. So she said it also was the first time she did applique and the first time quilting a 90 by 94 inch quilt. So this is a big one. She says, I don't know what the pattern is. It was just a picture on Pinterest with no one to credit. The border was my creation. And she sends her thanks for motivation. This is Susie. Her name is Susie. So we see here that she's done sort of a shadow box type of thing and put the seasons around all the edges there, spring, summer, winter, and autumn. And that was her first time doing applique. Your work is impeccable, and I like how you put a little tiny frame around your prints. It really makes a nice sharp image on the top of your quilt there, and it just turned out really, really good. And yeah, I just really like this. You just did a great, great job on it. So I hope we hear from you. Again, Susie, this was your first submission, and I hope we see more from you in the future. Virginia has made, or Jenny, she has made a hippity-hoppity wall hanging here, and she's made this for her daughter and her husband's entryway to their home. And this is from, the pattern is Patchwork Peter Rabbit by the Crafty Quilter, and she used some faux fur for his tail and added the wording for fun. So he's just adorable, and he's got those tulips there The fuzzy tail was a great addition. Awesome, Jenny. We have another Jenny, and let's see. She says she finally has a finish she can share, and boy, is it a finish. It is quite the job that she did here on this. She says, this is my version of Edita Sitar's 2024 birthday quilt, and she said that the viewers could make it with her and you know, put your own spin on it. And she included some bonus blocks throughout the year so that she was sharing 55 blocks. So at the end of the year she provided 2 layout ideas, and Jenny here chose the on-point layout with 61 blocks, so she only needed to make duplicates of 6 of her favorite blocks. And she says it seemed to take forever to sew the sashings and borders on, and she quilted it on her Qnique 15-inch mid-arm with automation using Knit 1 Purl 2 pantograph, and then hand sewed the binding on the back because her backing is light color Kona bone, which also took a long time to hand sew. So the fabric is Edita's Moonstone by Laundry Basket Quilts. It finishes at 77 3/4 inch square, and it's one of the most favorite quilts that Jenny has ever made. She's keeping this one. So if you look at this really close, you can see all the beautiful soft pinks and lavenders and blues maybe. Yeah, there's some blue in there. That's kind of what the dark is, isn't it? And it's just very, very beautiful. And I love how the sashing kind of fades in as far as color towards that bright center. Very good job. And I know what you mean about borders. Borders aren't my favorite, and this one has 3 borders plus cornerstones, but it looks great. Okay, so Jenny from earlier here had a submission, wanted to share with us her landscape quilt that she made. Now, she didn't make this directly after the Wednesday video that I put out with the tutorial of the landscape quilt that I made, but she wanted us to see how she did hers, and I think this is great because it gives you even more ideas. She says she pieced her sky there to resemble the clouds being pushed because of the wind. Interesting. She says, this was a take on my surroundings when I lived in the country and we had a pond. This was part of a row robin quilt I did for a friend. So I think that looks great, and look how easy that is. There's no measuring, there's no precision cutting or anything like that. You just put those strips together and lay your curved pieces on there, and voila, you have a landscape quilt, and it looks great. Okay, so let's get back here to, let's see, this one is from Deborah. She says, I finally finished the Stash Buster from the free pattern Silverstone. These are 10-inch squares from Clothworks, which I bought several years ago. I took the picture upside down, so the writing on the squares is unreadable. I quilted it with Naomi's organic pantograph. I watch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and enjoy your chit-chat. Thank you, Deb, for joining me here during the week. So this is very nice. It's basically a crossed over bow tie pattern, isn't it? But it's a free pattern that she got called Silverstone. So yes, that's a very good stash buster idea as well. Very nice. This one is from Kelly, and isn't this adorable? She says she's been watching my channel for years. This is my first submission. Well, thank you, Kelly. We're so glad to hear from you. The pattern is called Woolly Lambs by Coach House Designs. We have a new baby in the family. Our Patriotic passed away, and I have several of his flannel shirts. 3 of the 4 lambs are made from his flannels, so this will be gifted as a baby/memory quilt. Our nephew was very close to his pops, so hoping this is very meaningful to he and his wife. I learned a lot from this one. Haven't sewn so many seams in one block before. Working with different thicknesses of flannel played games on me. Jack the Ripper and I are much closer now. And if you look closely, you will see missing legs on one of the lambs. I didn't notice till the top was already done. My quilts always have a mistake somewhere, even though I try so hard. Now I just laugh and accept that's who and how I am. And that is perfectly okay, Kelly. I love your little lamb quilt here. And I'm assuming the one that didn't have legs is a white one up there. And you know what? It doesn't even really show. And I said that so fast because I looked at it for a long time, so I knew which one it probably was. But nobody's going to be able to tell, I don't think. So how special to use the flannel shirts as a memory portion of this quilt for a new baby. I think that's just really special. So I think that's our 10 submissions for this week. Thank you so much for sending those in. Everybody enjoys them so much, and they give us so much inspiration and ideas to do some new things, some things we've done in the past but forgot about, or maybe try a different style of fabric or pattern that we saw on here that we liked, but we just hadn't done it yet. So that's why we love seeing these photos come in. So we really, truly thank you for all of that. It's very meaningful. And I will be probably back here on Monday for Monday Quilt Chat as normal. Over the weekend, though, I do believe I'm going to continue on the Twizzle blocks and try to keep focused on that until I get a little farther along. I'm not promising that I'm getting them all done this weekend. I usually need a break after one or two of those, right after the other. So I probably will get a lot farther, but not done. And there will probably be some other things thrown in the mix before the weekend is over. You'll have to come back on Monday to find out. All right, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself in your sewing room. And that is all for now. Bye.